podcast for the new cruiser and beyond. I'm your host, Leslie.
And I'm Rick. Yeah, today we're going to do something really cool. We're continuing on with the Booking to Disembarking series. And today we are covering travel agents and if you should use them. And today we really have something very special, huh?
Yeah, we absolutely do. We had a great conversation with our podcast partner, Jenn Greene from MEI Travel. We're going to jump right into the interview. Hey, Jen, how's it going? Thanks for calling in today.
Good. How are you, Leslie?
Good, doing good. Happy to have you on our podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's great to have a great partner for sure.
Somebody who knows what they're doing.
Fantastic. A couple questions for you, Jen. So kind of start off lighthearted here. If you could go on a cruise any time in history, would it be a past cruise or a future cruise?
I think it would be a future cruise.
Future cruise.
I'm with you.
Yeah. I definitely think it would be a future cruise. And I think it would be like an exploration cruise. I think I'd get away from like ocean cruising.
Oh, okay.
Know, to the palm trees and maybe go to Antarctica. Because those like have really piqued my interest lately. So I think that's like a bucket list, definite, like smaller ship, going out on the Zodiac, seeing penguins and polar bears and
that's just cool.
Yeah, that just feels like the coolest thing to do. Like, it's definitely interesting. But then I'm also watching this like 9-month cruise, and I'm kind of fascinated with that as well. So I don't know. Like, I'm kind of like I want to. Yeah, I'm like maybe I just want to get on like a segment. Like, what do you guys do for a living? Like, what are we doing here for months at a time on board?
Really.
So, yeah, it's fascinating. Like watching everybody on this cruise and kind of the dynamic. So I don't know, but I definitely think it would be a future cruise. I don't think it would be any cruises from the past.
I agree.
Oh, that is cool. I do too, because I don't know. I'm iffy about the Titanic and those kind. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
Yeah,
I don't need that.
Thanks. Good.
Okay. So next question is, what is your favorite ship and why?
Oh my goodness. So I am like unashamedly a Royal Caribbean girl. So I'm always gonna go with Royal. Right now it's Wonder of the Seas. I know a lot of people like the mega ships aren't their thing, but I think that with Wonder they kind of took all of the little pieces of all the other Oasis class ships and like perfected them with Wonder. And then they kind of plussed the dining experience with Mason Jar and 150 Central Park. And just, there's just so much on board for everybody. So I think as far as, ships that I've sailed on, I think Wonder is my favorite. I do have Icon coming up, so I guess we'll have to chat after and see, see where I'm at. But
it's with you.
It's a new ship class. So I love the Oasis class, so I'm curious to see how the Icon class kind of stands out. But for now, ships sailing is Wonder of the Seas is absolutely my favorite ship right now.
That's mine too. Just saying, that is mine too.
Yeah,
that and then the
it's
Allure.
A great ship. Yeah, I do love Allure. Allure has like that Oasis class nostalgia with like still having like the champagne bar, and it doesn't have the water slides. And I know she's going to be amplified soon, and then, all of that will go away. But for now, I mean, and I think she looks great for being like as old as she is. Like
for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, she looks amazing. So, yeah, I definitely have a little bit of nostalgia for Allure as well, but she looks great. I sailed her last November when she went to Galveston, and I was shocked at not being amplified how good that ship looks.
I agree 100%. I absolutely love that ship too.
Yeah, because we sailed Allure in 2019, and as soon as we got off, we rebooked it.
Yeah.
And then something like the pandemic hit.
Yeah, the pandemic hit. We couldn't go. Yeah.
It's hugely popular. Like I book a ton of Allure, especially now that she's doing the 3 and 4 nights from Port Canaveral. I mean, it's become really popular. So I'm curious to see what might take her place in 2025 on those 3 and 4 nights, because they haven't come out yet. So I don't know if it's going to be Symphony or Wonder, because we haven't seen those schedules yet. So I guess we'll have to I know. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But they'll be coming out next month because we still don't have a 2025 schedule for Symphony, Wonder, Navigator. I think those are the 3 that we're still missing for 2025.
Well, then the Utopia is coming out too.
Yeah. So we still have that one doing short nights. So are they gonna move Utopia somewhere and keep? I don't know. It's anybody's game at this point.
Yeah.
But with the new Galveston port can hold the larger ships, so they can definitely send more Oasis class over there.
Have you sailed from Galveston?
I have. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. They just do mainly Western Caribbean. There's some longer ones that will go to Coco Cay, like a 9-night, but they mainly do 5 and 7 nights. And there's usually there's Harmony's going to be there, and then Mariner's about to go there for their 5 nights.
Oh, nice.
So
wow.
Yeah, so Mariner will be doing 5-night Western, and Harmony will be doing 7-night Western, primarily. There's a couple of long ones, but not many.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
So as you know, we just booked is it the Brilliance of the Seas out of New Orleans? Have you sailed out of there? Because we haven't.
I have not. I have not sailed out of New Orleans. I heard it's like a really nice port, and easy to get in and out of. So
Nice.
I'm curious to see once more people start sailing out of there, especially with Royal going there. I'm curious to see how people like it compared to the other ports. Galveston was fantastic.
Nice.
The port there is stunning, and it was. I don't think I've ever embarked and disembarked faster than Galveston. It was crazy how fast it was. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it took. I mean, I was on the ship in 10 minutes, and I was off within 5. So I mean, it was
That's great.
It was pretty crazy how quickly it went. But I know New Orleans has an older port, but I have heard it's very efficient. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Cool.
Dang. We'll do some research for you, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, let me know. For sure. Let me know.
Yeah, you sent us there.
Yeah, I did. My fault. Funny.
Okay. Yeah, just moving on. We've got some travel agent stuff now.
Yeah.
What, I mean, you hook us up all the time with these fantastic prices. How do you get such good prices?
It's just this magical power I have that,
Sweet.
no, I'm kidding.
I love it.
And that's why you use Jenn Greene from
Yeah,
MEI
right?
Travel.
Yeah, from
That's
MEI.
great.
No, I'm kidding. No, so our agency is a little bit of status with Royal, and it's also the consortia that we're part of. They get, they have a preferred status with Royal Caribbean, and so they're able to allot, like X amount of this like astronomical, like rock bottom, sometimes half off published fares.
Wow.
Pricing for us, but like once they're gone, they're gone. So if there are 5 ocean view balconies, like that's it. You can't call in and get more.
Okay.
That's just what it is. And we don't get like notifications of like, here's all the sailings. Like if you just pull up a sailing and they happen to have these special rates for the Signature Travel Network, then I almost always try to offer those to my clients first if we have them. Or if maybe like the sailing before or after that they're looking at, if they're not dead set on their dates, we might lock them in on that. But I mean, the pricing is pretty rock bottom most of the time.
Yeah.
It's good. That's good. And
So yeah,
and if speaking of price, if the price drops, how do you get like a notification? Do you just look for that? Like how do you watch for those?
yeah, I actually have special software that alerts me every Wednesday. If it's called Cruise Track, and it just pings me if the price has changed. So sometimes it'll ping me because say Royal came out with their onboard credit sale and they're saying like, oh, this is a better offer. It's often not a better offer. So I have to go in and just kind of like see what's what and what's best for the client at that point. But it sends me a list every week, and I just go through it usually on Thursdays or Fridays. And if somebody needs to be repriced, then I'll reprice it. Sometimes you can upgrade for, sometimes only $10 or $15 more, depending on what the pricing or the sale looks like. So sometimes there's the opportunity for people to get like a really good upgrade that, when they booked, they were like, oh, we can only do Ocean View right now. But then, oh, there's a balcony because the new sale came out and it only costs $20 more than what you're paying now per person. So, sometimes those opportunities arise too. But yeah, we have software that alerts us when pricing changes. So it's nice because I don't have to go through
that would be a lot. Yeah.
Reservation and do it by hand.
That would be a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. So it's nice to get that. And then, like I said, usually like at the end of the week, I try to do like repricing and see what I can find for people.
Does it, with cruising being so popular now, are you seeing changes, or is it kind of a supply and demand thing right now?
It is absolutely supply and demand right now.
Yeah.
I've been a travel agent for 11 years. I have never seen such a demand for cruising across the board. Every cruise line, every major cruise line, NCL, Carnival, Celebrity, Royal, they are all like selling out a year and a half in advance. As soon as these dates open up, people are contacting me and they're like, hey, we want to book for 2025. I have some people already booked for 2026. So, that is how much people are like thinking ahead and, want to ensure that they're getting the best pricing because the further out you book, the cheaper the cruise is.
Right.
It used to be back in the day, you could sell for $150 on a 3-night cruise because you were a Florida resident and you live near a port, and you could be like, oh, hey, are there any weekend cruises? Well, they're not going out empty anymore.
Right.
Those rates, like, they don't exist. Like, I know Matt is also a big proponent of this from our Korean blog, where he says, don't wait, book now, and I'll watch like your travel agent will watch for your pricing, which is true, because it's just going to keep going up and up and up. We're not seeing them go down. The more filled the ship is, the more expensive it is.
Right.
So it is absolutely a supply and demand thing. 100%.
And you just don't book cruises, right?
No, I book all destinations. I book land and sea, Europe, Universal, Walt Disney World. It doesn't, wherever you want to go, I can get you there.
Oh, okay. That's great to know.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And what about like travel insurance? I know Leslie and we usually get travel insurance. What's your thought on that?
So I think travel insurance is a really great way to protect your investment. At the end of the day, even if your policy is like, the basic policy, like some offer like premium, some offer standard, you're probably going to get a credit back. So you're not just throwing away your money because you weren't insured, and heaven forbid something happens and you can't make your trip. You can't really call and say, hey, this happened or whatever. They're not really, they're gonna be like, well, everybody would call and say,
I don't care.
Yeah. So once you're paid in full, especially for cruises, there are penalty fees, and there's really not much going back, and there's no flexibility on them. So you pay in full 90 days before your departure, and then after that, it's 100% cancellation penalty after that. So if you're making a huge investment in your vacation, you definitely should insure it, just like you do your car or your house or yourself with your own, health insurance. Like, you just want to protect that investment and protect yourself as much as you possibly can, even if it just ends with you getting a credit at the end of the day because you had to cancel. Because you're probably still going to take that vacation. You're just not able to take it right then and there.
Yep, that's very smart. And it just you feel a little safer too. Like, you just in your back of your mind, okay, like you said, even if something comes up and I can't go to this one, I can book it 6 months down the road and I'm still going to be pretty much okay.
Yeah, it gives you peace of mind that, like, oh, I just spent $8,000 and hopefully nothing happens. But if something does happen, and then, like, in the case of something happened that is like out of say the traveler's control, the cruise line will do whatever they can to try to make it right. So if there's like a hurricane or something, then absolutely. But that doesn't really cover the fact that you want to fly in a day early, but the airport closed because the hurricane's coming the next day. You still want to be insured for those reasons.
Right.
So unless something happens, like once you're on board or while you're sitting in the terminal, you just want to make sure that you're covered and that you can get something back for your investment.
Yeah, that's smart. That's That's why we get it.
Absolutely.
We
Yeah.
like it. All right. So the last question we have for you is, besides your magic wand, how
Your
do
Jedi
you
power.
your Jedi power? Why is it the person should work with a travel agent? It's just like, because you could go online, book your own, but why would you suggest somebody work with a travel agent?
So working with a travel agent is a dedicated point of contact for you. And in, in most cases, first of all, you need to do your research. You need to make sure that your travel agent is licensed, has experience in what you're looking for. If you find somebody and they're like, hey, I know, especially at MEI, like if somebody comes to me with something that I am just completely unversed in, I'll give it to an agent that is. Because rather than, kind of just like de-guessing my way through it, I'd rather them have the same experience that I would be able to give them by knowing the product. So we do that. And we also have like a great support system where we talk to other agents and confer on things that, hey, I'm kind of stuck on this. But it's just a dedicated point of contact for you to get you the best experience possible. Once you make your deposit, then you can start planning whether you're going to Disney World, Universal, you're going on a cruise, you're going to Europe, and you don't have to worry about, oh, great, now I have to make another monthly payment, because I'm going to do that for you if you want to do a monthly payment. If the price drops, I'm going to do that for you. If Disney World comes out with a discount and you booked it full price, I'm going to try to get that discount for you. So almost everything once you book is like retroactive. So if somebody books for today, for December, for Disney World, and Disney World drops, another free dining promotion in June, well, I'm going to make sure that that client hopefully gets that free dining promotion, even though they booked in January. If it's not for new bookings, then, as long as it's not for new bookings, that you're going to get your cruise documents, your luggage tags. Usually we send, like a stateroom gift or onboard credits or, whatever we can. There's just a very personal touch to having an agent as opposed to booking with Expedia or Travelocity or one of those even Costco Travel. And I'm not knocking any of these because they're not all terrible.
Right.
But if you're fine with talking to a call center employee whenever, they're open, that's fine. But if I have a client at the port right now checking in and they're having a problem, they can call me on my cell phone on a Sunday and get me, not a call center. And I'm going to try to help them. If they're on board and they have an issue, they can email me and I could try to escalate it, to somebody above me within whichever supplier we're using and see if they can do something ship side, because my capabilities kind of stop shore side. So there's just a lot of relationships that we have as travel agents with our vendors and with our suppliers that kind of help get things done, or if there's an issue or, mediation is involved because of a major issue. I will tell you that the travel agents became hugely beneficial during the pandemic because travel didn't happen for 2 years. And we spent countless hours on the phone, on hold, getting our clients their money back. And there are still people out there in 2024 that have not gotten their money back from third parties.
Oh, geez.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So there's some nightmare stories out there. And, even if at the end of the day, like someone wasn't giving cash back, they all got credit. There was something given back. And it was as timely as it could be. I mean, that was a nightmare for everybody, but it's just a personal point of contact. And, if I'm traveling, there's somebody here in my place that, is going to cover for me. So if a client reaches out, it's not like, oh, sorry, Jenn's on vacation.
Yeah.
Can't help you right now. There is someone else, so you want to work with a travel agent that is certified, licensed, and their agency is accredited and has everything, that you're looking for in a partnership. I often say, like, my clients are very much like friends of mine. Like, I would cruise with them or go on vacation with most of them because I feel like we've developed a relationship where, like I know what their kids are doing for their birthdays, or I know what they're doing for their anniversary or whatever, because that's part of my job, because a lot of times they're calling me to plan those things. So I know like when these big moments are happening and stuff. So it's kind of exciting and fun for me as an agent to like have this little part in people's lives. And they come back and they're just so excited because of, whatever happened on that trip, and then they're ready to plan their next one. So I just think that aside from, saving you money, keeping you organized, ultimately you want an agent that is accessible to you. And I don't mean like 24/7, within reason.
We can't call you in the middle of the night.
Right. Yeah. Because some people do think that, but, and are experts, and know what they're talking about, not just, somebody be like, oh, you want to go to Alaska in January? Well, that's not an option.
Yeah. No, you're not.
And so, yeah. So, you want to make sure that it's someone who knows, all the ins and outs of the trade, someone who continues to do continuing ed for not only themselves, but their clients, to just make sure that they're always on top of the latest trends and everything going on in travel.
Yeah.
Because it's changed so much, especially since COVID. A lot of the rules have kind of dropped with going to different countries and different places, but there are just still a lot of things that have changed that people need to be aware of.
Yeah.
And I think that, and as far as that goes, like us being like, okay, well, here's the deal now with this. So I definitely think it's helpful to people to have an agent that they trust and they know, and that's a point of contact. And even if you only ever book one vacation, because you don't vacation a lot, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to treat you any differently. Every client is valuable and important, whether you're booking a $40,000 trip or an $800 weekend cruise. It doesn't matter to me.
Like Rick always says, you are the easy button. That's how we tell people.
I'm sure,
She's the easy
seriously.
button.
It's so true. I mean, it's so funny because people like, I have a lot of regular clients like you guys that just shoot me an email and say, hey, I need some pricing. All right, book it, and I love those types of clients because it just makes my life so much easier, where I'm like, all right, great. I didn't have to give 700 options, but I will give 700 options if I need to.
I mean, it's like by the time we get something in our head, we have a contract and it's signed within 20 minutes with you. Literally. Like it's that easy.
Yeah. I definitely am very accessible to my clients, especially my regular clients. Like I like to make sure like, oh, this is the pricing today, because you never know, it could go up tomorrow.
Right.
So I try to get everyone, even if we're not depositing it, because I might be out of the office, like we're at least getting it held and locked in at that rate. So that it's not like, oh, it's gotta wait till Monday morning and then it's, heaven forbid, $500 more. So it's definitely worthwhile to work with an agent, I think. And it doesn't cost you anything. And if you ever try to work with a travel agent that tries to charge you, that's a huge red flag.
Right. Right.
Yeah, they shouldn't be charging you for their services because the suppliers pay us.
Right.
So,
which is great for you guys too. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody. It really is.
Yeah,
it's a win-win.
It's just greedy when they charge fees, and some people are like, well, I made this elaborate itinerary, and it's like, well, okay, but that's your job,
right?
Right.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a red flag though if somebody's like, oh, well, we charge $50 for our planning services. Like, we just don't. That's just, to us, especially at MEI, we will never charge fees for our services.
One thing you said about 2 minutes ago, when we reach out to you and you get prices for us, how long is that lock-in period?
I mean, it's like 24 hours.
Oh, okay. Right around there.
Give or take. Yeah, I mean, it's not usually the same for like land. Like if I quote somebody Disney World on a Monday and they don't get back to me till Friday, the pricing hasn't changed. That's pretty standard.
Okay.
With like hotels and theme parks and things, they're not really going to change unless you're changing the dates. If you wanted to go in March, but now you want to go in December, then it's probably going to cost you more. But when it comes to cruises, it's just so fluid. You could have a cruise that's completely wide open on Monday, and then you go out on Tuesday and some company did a huge buyout. And now the pricing is double because the ship is half full now. So it kind of goes back to the supply and demand thing. So again, Yeah. So again, if we can get it held and locked in at whatever rate, and the special fares that we spoke about, if you're even like debating it, you need to lock them in. Because the good thing about those special rates that I have is they're usually refundable deposit fares.
Oh, wow.
So
Good to know.
yeah, so a lot of times people will book it, and then if they change their mind, they can always cancel. Hopefully they don't, but it is usually a refundable deposit fare because it's a special rate. So that's kind of nice because you have that kind of sense of security of like, okay, well, I think we're 99.9% sure, but just in case, you're not going to lose your $250 a person deposit for that. So yeah, with cruising, it's definitely better to lock it in sooner than later with cruising because it's just so fluid. It's never the same price the next day.
That's great. That was great. Great information.
Yeah.
Happy to help.
We're just so grateful that you're part of this channel.
Yeah, I'm happy to be.
You are the Easy Button. You need to change your phone number to 1-800 Easy Button.
I should. I really should. I need to go like Google and get a new phone number. I know. I think I've definitely booked a couple like family members and a couple of I know I've booked one of your friends, so I definitely appreciate the referrals, and hopefully this continues to grow, and we'll
Awesome.
have some fun with it down the road. Yeah.
Well, thank you for spending some time with us today.
Yeah.
And
not a problem. Thanks for having me.
Yep. And we'll be talking soon, Jen. Thank you.
Talk to you guys soon.
All
Yep.
right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Man, that was some really good information. We've been using her since what? December
2022?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every time we talk to her, we learn something. So it's she's amazing.
She really is. She's really good.
So yeah, just as we normally talk about, you can always email us any of your questions. We encourage you to reach out to Jenn Greene at MEI Travel for any of your vacationing dreams. She definitely is the easy button. All of her info and our information will always be in the show notes for every episode. So we're just grateful that she spent some time with us today. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll catch you next time.